What's up YouTube? So I'm back again with another video. Today I'm going to go over basically how to just aim better and how to feel like you've got aimbot. There are ways to have good aim to where it actually does look like to some people that you are cheating. And that
No, someone stop him. He's cheating.
and that can be good or bad. If you've got a 20 kill game and you look like it, you're probably going to get reported and end up getting shadow banned, which that's a whole other thing. So you can see my controls right now. Just go into the settings and start on the controller tab. What I'm going to show you here is the dead zone inputs. Right here you can see my left stick minimum and my right stick minimum are set to be very low, and then the max on the left stick is at 0.65. so I'm not using the entire circle here. You can see it moving up and down. Reason for that is rotational aim assist. So when you're looking at an enemy, you don't want to be just having your left stick standing still. You want to be kind of moving your left stick left and right, because that's going to help with that rotational aim assist. You'll see a lot of the pro players moving that left stick rapidly left and right. You don't have to go all the way to the left and all the way to the right because you set the maximum down a little bit. In my experience, from how it feels, I'm probably getting like 10% more aim assist feel. The right stick minimum or the left stick minimum is basically just how far do I need to move the stick before it starts to kick on. So if you have stick drift, maybe increase this a little bit so you don't get that unwanted movement there. But most importantly though, for aiming, gotta bump that up to 7, is the right stick minimum. So you can see off to the right side of your screen there, I don't have to turn or move my right stick very much at all to get my right stick to start moving. I do get a very tiny bit of stick drift, and I think that's just because this is a scuff controller I've been using for a couple years now, or like a year and a half or so. It's plastic stuff. It's gonna wear out eventually, so I'll get another one. But the minimum, like I was saying, gotta go back down, is I have that set to low because when I'm aiming at people, I want to have those like really fine adjustment. It is going to take some getting used to though. I will say I've had my right stick minimum set to very low for like 3 years now, ever since the first Warzone. So if you feel like you want to have those more refined corrections on your aim when you're aiming down sight and stuff, then start by just lowering it a tiny bit. If you're at like 20 right now or something, I don't know who would be that high, but turn it down to like 17 and see what that feels. And then if you feel like you can do a little more, turn it down a little bit more and more. I got comfortable with 7. I've tried 0 before and it just felt like my controller was moving without me. I could think about the stick and it would start making me turn. So I turned that up a little bit, and I think 7 is comfortable. The left stick max and the right stick max are different because for the right stick, if I wanna look all the way to my right, it feels natural to have to move my right stick all the way to the right. One thing that does help though is I do have the control freaks on here. It just being a little bit taller kind of helps the refined aim too. It is pretty much what you're used to. Take what you're used to and then deviate from it just a tiny bit. Don't just flip straight to my settings. Deviate from it just a tiny bit, and if you want to work your way, if your sensitivity and all that stuff is high compared to mine, then work your way down, or if you think mine's too low, then work your way up and then find what you're comfortable with. This one has helped a lot of my friends. When I told them about these settings, they were like, oh my god dude, I feel insane now. And then they end up dropping 2 kills, but they still feel good when they're playing. I will say this probably made a huge difference in my gameplay, and I'm going to tell you why. I've played on a range from anywhere from having 7 and 7 sensitivity. I'll bump it up to 10, 11 or 12. There's some days where my screen, it just doesn't feel like I'm moving very fast, so I'll crank it up a little bit. I used to play on 20. And I don't know how I played on 20. A lot of people have a low sensitivity, but they don't really know about the aim down sight sensitivity multiplier. I have it set to 15 and 15. That to me is comfortable because I do feel comfortable with my controller and how it's set up with the dead zones and all that I showed you previously. Now I can move around, I can flip left and right, I can run in a door, run back out immediately because my aim down sight sensitivity multiplier is set very low compared to what some of my friends had. A lot of my friends, they had like a point 0.9 or something like that, and I think that's what it comes standard with, because when you aim down sight, they don't want it to match your sensitivity. They want it to just be a little bit lower. But for me, having a very high moving around sensitivity and then a very low aim down sight sensitivity gives me the illusion of a very, very strong slowdown with aim assist. One of my friends, he had his sensitivity set to like 7 or 8, and his aim down sight sensitivity multiplier was like a 0.9. So I told him, I was like, hey, why don't you try going from 7? Why don't you go up to 10 and then lower that aim down sight sensitivity multiplier to 0.7 and see how that feels? And immediately in the first game, he was like, dude, this feels awesome. Like, it feels like my controller, it feels like my aim is slowing down immensely when I'm looking at an enemy. So there's other tips that can go along with that. If your centering is good, meaning without aiming down sight speed, if you can already center your crosshairs where an enemy might be, then aiming down sight, it's going to feel very good. Next thing is the aim response curve type. I have this set to dynamic. I don't think that just changing this one thing will make a huge difference. I think with my low right stick dead zone, my strong slowdown, I can have those fine adjustments, and I feel like dynamic gives me that ability a little bit better than linear and standard to have that those finer adjustments in my aim. All this other stuff, target aim assist, you're probably going to want that on. If you're watching this video on how to aim better, you're probably going to want your aim assist on. I don't really know for aim assist type. I just use Black Ops. I missed the Black Ops game, so I use Black Ops. If my sensitivity is at 15 and yours is at 6, don't just jump to 15 and all of a sudden think that it's going to like make a huge improvement. Move up, from 6, go to 7 or 8, and then see how that feels. Lower that right stick aim down sight sensitivity multiplier, see how that feels. And then just kind of deviate, go in little increments up and down until you kind of find what works best for you. So that being said, thank you all for watching. I hope that some of these settings do help you out a little bit. It's not going to make you or turn you into a beast right away, but you are going to see a little bit of an improvement.